All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and joining me is none other than my co-host, Avira.
Ow! Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope you are having a fantastic day, wherever you might be on this beautiful
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
day.
Next on the show, we have Noble.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Bring your popcorn.
I think that is a very, very, very perfect food set, given what's going to be coming in the world of tomorrow. Can't wait. Can't wait to dig in. Now, and joining us to round out this week's panel is Beowulf.
Yes, Jack of all trades, master of nothing, and, enjoyer of the apocalypse as it happens.
And an apocalypse we shall enjoy indeed. But first, I would like to share with you the key art for this season of the Raiders Rambles. Better late than never, but it is finally here.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
I'm with Jolt on this one. Give me some marshmallows.
Jolt stole my marshmallows.
No! I love that shirt you're wearing too, Jolt. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cultural traditional shirt.
Nice.
Represents my culture. Yeah. Nah, where's my shish kebab? It's my first
I think
choice.
of Vera's back
Oh.
here.
Yeah, man, I would
Fire.
totally trade a marshmallow for a Kransky.
I
In case you guys don't know, a Kransky is also called a sausage in some parts of the world. I didn't know this until literally about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, certain they're really popular in certain parts of Europe. Yeah, but
Hey.
I guess I just call them German sausages.
That's pretty good. I love the text too. All the, it looks like it's all on fire. So this
might
is
as
what,
well be at
season
this point.
4? Is
5.
this season 4 or 5?
5.
Wow. My
Hey,
goodness, it's been a long time.
You're a little less than a month early for Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, okay.
But yes, what are we if not the chroniclers of watching the world burn?
Yes, and enjoying sustenance from the fires of the burning world. Mwahaha.
After all, we know certain civilizations are in decline. We know certain civilizations are resisting said decline and are getting, negative treatment for it by certain civilizations. But we do know price of sustenance is not as great as we'd hoped for. So, enjoy the meals on an open fire while we can.
We
Well,
didn't start the fire.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
So it's
before
burning
long,
since
you
the
can just
world's
stick something
turning.
Oh,
inside.
The world's been turning.
We did not start the fire. But yes,
I don't know. I'm more of the Fallout 3 kind of. I don't want to set the world on fire. Yes, it's I want to start a burning desire in your heart, kind of thing. So,
Aww.
yeah, it's a very, if you actually listen to the whole song, it's actually a very romantic song, but, I'm a nerd.
You good, buddy?
it seems like it's a very thematic song. It fits in the
I
theme,
mean,
it
after
sounds
nuclear fire, yeah. That's what we're all waiting for at this point, right?
It
Yeah,
really
we'll
depends
see.
who's gonna push the button first. Is it gonna
Probably Little
be,
Rocket Man.
is it gonna be the Bald Eagle or is it gonna be Zabivaka?
Ah. Well, wasn't there like a short meme about Zabivaka already pushing the button out of anger because like the furries were yipping him? He's just like, and he's like, I'm done.
No surprise.
I can totally get behind that. But now we just have to wait and see how this all plays out. So, without any further ado, let us dig into it. Dig into what's here for the week. Now, I want to preface this first, what's here, with a popular meme, a popular saying. In 1972, I bet we're going to have all kinds of amazing things, like flying cars and hoverboards, and, and anything that the human mind can conjure up come to life. But now, here we are, we're in 2022, and we get this. And so,
Oh, boy.
what we have is a furry convention called Motor City FurCon. And its theme for the year is Visions of the Future. Future has arrived.
Oh,
Not in 2020, not in 2021, but finally in 2022 amidst all of the crazy events and cancellations.
oh boy.
If this is the future of cons, I'm terrified.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
So this is a
Yeah.
public statement from the staff at Motor City FurCon in 2022. An open letter. Shall I read?
Yes.
To the attendees of MCFC, today we want to thank the vast majority of our attendees for making MCFC the amazing con it is. We appreciate your donation to our charity, and we're overjoyed by the fun you have when you're here. This makes all the hard work over the year, 5 months in this case, totally worth it. However, we unfortunately have to address several issues that were brought to our attention by the hotel after the convention. Yeah, we're lucky to have such a good hotel team that is still willing to work with us. I'm surprised they're still willing to work with you guys. Holy shit. They're still willing to work with us, and these problems are not irreparable. I don't know about that. But these issues do need to be addressed. We have chosen to break these down and ask everyone who has attended to read through them. MCFC is your con as much as it is ours, and some of these issues, whether you are part of the problem or not, will require all of us to talk. Or fix. I mean, both, honestly. As it goes down, let's just see some of them. Vomit in the public bathrooms and guest rooms. We have leaving bathrooms and hotels in an unsanitary condition.
Number
No,
two.
I think there's a very specific line in there. The hotel went as far as to describe the conditions as a biohazard.
Oh, another one. Like the LFC. Wasn't that nice?
Yeah,
Good lord.
Yeah, no. This is what happens when people just don't care and you leave them unattended.
One of the reasons it was a biohazard is because there was literal shit smeared on the walls and floor all over the damn place.
Is this
why
when you look at
drugs should
this?
not be allowed.
Read this headline, like on the second pointer. Unsanitary condition number 2.
Okay, so we have received reports of multiple occurrences of feces in public restroom walls and private bathrooms in a manner that is inconsistent with illness or accidents. Oh, so it was intentional. Yeah, no shit. Get it? No shit. Some guest rooms had feces. Oh god, left on beds or in sheets. This behavior is unacceptable. Oh god, I want to fucking vomit. What? And we have encouraged the hotel, what is that? Access fees to keep track of what room. Oh yeah, okay.
To
keep track of the rooms. Accidents can happen, but please clean up after yourself, especially in your own room. And notify the hotel about the situation. Yeah, obviously this is not an accident. And then they go on to the adult baby lovers, the adult diaper shit. Oh god. Oh no.
There's more to that, but we will first start. Let's do one point at a time. And
okay, yeah,
sorry. With the whole, the whole hygiene horror. Let's start.
I mean, FurCons are kind of known for their bad hygiene, to be fair.
But this
is kind of another level.
Well, this is like Rainforest 2.0, basically. And you thought the cum pizza guy was bad. But dude, this looks like it was multiple people just not giving a shit. Or actually no, maybe they gave too many shits. Way too many shits were given.
So, out of
Yeah.
curiosity, were these guys pro LGBTQM plus?
Dude, Noble. This is the furry community. You have to
You must
remember
be
that
pro, or you are you're verboten from going
they
anywhere.
are like the gays make up a big proportion of the community.
Yeah,
Considerably.
no, hang on. I'm going to take a look at MCFC.
MCFC. Right.
I don't think
But the
this was
thing
about
is-
sexuality. This is more about just being a complete degenerate because
yeah, you're
you
right.
can.
It's not. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be
Maybe
surprised
fetish
if these
related, because
issues-
a lot of the adult baby diaper people, maybe they were into that. I just,
Who knows?
but oh,
Now, whether or not they overlap is another story on its own, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do because some of these elements may be connected to each other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So they actually
So-
classified this as a biohazard. Holy bonkers, man!
Well, I mean,
I think this is
I've
why we
been in a
basically-
couple rooms that are pretty close to that, and yeah, no, I didn't
Okay,
have
that's it.
fun
That's it.
cleaning
That's it.
stuff.
I am officially going to change my finger to the hazmat suit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Holy shit! Ah,
Can we please continue on with this? Because I want to find out about the degeneracy that occurred with this. I really
All
do.
right. ABDL/adult diapers. This is a subject that is quite volatile in the furry community as of late, and we want to begin by acknowledging that the ABDL community as a whole is filled with good people who know how to act properly, and this section is to address the bad actors. Okay,
Oh boy.
then. We have reached out to the local community and asked them to talk to their members, but we want to implore the ABDL/baby fur community as a whole to work within themselves to address these shortcomings. There were reports of several instances of adult diapers left in public bathrooms, in stalls, on countertops, and trash cans filled with them.
Filled with them? How many fucking people did this?
A lot.
Oh my
I
God.
think MCFC is like one of the hotspots for this kind of thing, and
Right.
that's not.
Wow.
Be
That's
that
not-
as it may, but there were
Bring
there were
the
even
rest of it.
people who are posting on their Twitter like they've got like suitcases full of these adult diapers.
Good lord.
Please read the rest of it.
Righto. We understand that wearing diapers is part of being in the ABDL community, but we are asking you not to leave these items in public spaces and to return to your rooms to deal with it. We also ask that, out of respect for the hotel staff, you double bag and dispose of them in a manner that requires minimum contact between the hotel staff and these items. If you need extra trash bags, please ask the front desk. They would gladly supply you with extra rather than encounter a nasty surprise in the room.
Why are they cuddling them with this sort of wording? I mean, holy shit!
because it's like 60% of their attendees.
Yo,
Right,
Noble,
and
you're
then
so right.
it's-
Like they're saying it's okay if you do this, but if you do, we'll help you
Yes.
out.
Yeah, no,
Because,
Huh?
because you can't say no to this kind of behavior because it's such
Wait.
a large percentage of people.
Guys,
you're missing what I'm saying.
No, it's like I guess. Go ahead, Noble. Before I butt in.
What I'm saying is that adult diapers isn't the problem here. The problem is how it's being disposed of. It should be wording stating that leaving them on counters, how they've been disposing of them inappropriately, is unacceptable behavior.
Mhm.
They shouldn't be cuddling them saying, please be considerate. It's
Yeah.
gone past that. Considering
we-
that they've had to make a statement like this, it should be stating, yeah, this isn't a good idea.
It's
Don't do
I
it.
find it so fitting that they're basically treating the babies like babies.
Yeah, good point.
Well, I mean, they kind of have to.
I wonder
It's-
how many of like their
how
staff
it
are into
works.
this shit too.
I would imagine probably a large percentage.
At least some of them, right? Probably.
I don't know. Like if you I think this is kind of a regional thing, and I don't know why it's a regional thing because there's certain conventions that this happens alarmingly high percentage of the
Right.
time.
Motor City FurCon is in Michigan, and the most well-known incident is in way out west in Washington State, Seattle, way back all those years ago.
That was
And I'm not
Rainforest, right?
right, and I'm not sure if there's a connection in either one of them, or if it's just a local, like a state by state thing, as you would
I
say.
don't know. It seems. I don't know. There's like this kind of area in the surrounding states and kind of that Seattle area seem to be like a brewing pot for that kind of thing. But I don't know. It might be just a West Coast thing that's transversed into other West Coast like places.
Right. Okay. There's still a few more items on the docket here.
Yeah, we're only
Public displays of
3/3 of the way
affection.
done.
So the
Yeah.
furry community
Oh,
has
oh.
always been a rather affectionate group of people between consenting adults. Hugs, cuddles, kisses, and even a friendly squeeze on the butt are not uncommon. Okay, very specific there. We respect this. However, we did have a few reports of people, shall we say, rounding third base, sliding for home. Please, if you want to put on a show, invite your friends back to the room, but we ask you to keep the PDA, public displays of affection, to appropriate levels for a hotel, lobby, and public spaces. Yo, people were getting it on in the lobby. Okay.
Yeah, no,
What?
that's grounds for removal from like 2/3 of conventions, except apparently this one.
That's bizarre, eh?
Wow. Okay.
Like that, yeah. I've heard of people getting removed from the hotel, like their room getting canceled for less.
Because they took the whole, that whole thing too far. The whole.
It's incredible that the hotel staff didn't kick these guys out for all the damage, all the literal biohazard crap going on. Like, oh my goodness.
I can kind of understand people getting caught with their pants down on the balcony. I can kind of understand that.
Midwest for Fest
full
begs
on,
to differ.
full on sex out in the lobby and public areas.
No. Oh no. Come
That's what
on,
sounds like
man.
been going on here.
I mean, this kind of thing's happened at like MFF. Granted, they got kicked out of their hotel and everything else. Like they got told to leave. They're not welcome anymore. But if they're just like, hey, you need to go back to your room.
I'm not sure if this is a law in like every single American state, but I do know at least here where I live in New
Public
York, like
indecency.
yeah, that's like you can go to jail for that. Like,
I'm
don't be doing
surprised- I'm honestly surprised no one tried to hose him down.
that. With what?
Well, surely they're going to have fire extinguishers and whatnot around.
How can you imagine if like some like furs were getting it on like in the corner of the lobby and some guy with a fire extinguisher just came up and was like, no.
Yeah, there would be a lot more hassle from that because that makes a mess.
Ah, yeah, that'd be wild. Oh, but
Well,
the
not
next part
fire
of that was
extinguishers, but
also
fire hose.
the furries like sleeping in cars and stuff in places that they shouldn't be.
Right. And sleeping in the lobby, car / other. And look, I get it. Maybe they couldn't get enough hotel contracts, or they, not enough overflow hotels, which they should do.
And like I've known people at cons, like cons that I've been to, that have slept in their car. For instance, they brought like a minivan and they had like a little like bed in the back. Like I've seen that at Apocalypse several times. And where else was it? Oh, when I was at A&E, my friend left our room and he ended up sleeping under a table in the game room.
Or even like
well, he lost his room key and he didn't want to wake us up, so he just slept there.
or
Probably not the best idea.
They'll just go and sleep on the lounge, the hotel lounge.
I'm a little confused about the sleeping in the lobby. Cars, I can understand to a point, but Look, I can understand if someone is busy and they fall asleep outside.
Right.
I think there's an element of
or you pass
trying
out
to be
in like a chair when
financially
you're
stingy.
when you're
But
sitting waiting or something. But
if people are purposely going out of their way to not rent a room and actually stay properly and instead just sleep where they drop, then that is a problem. If
Yeah,
someone falls asleep while waiting, that's a different story. But full on putting yourself to camping down someplace, that's unacceptable.
yeah, because that's not even ghosting at that point. Like it's not like they didn't register, and I don't know if they did or not. But like, if you don't have a room, I mean, where are you gonna go? I guess your car, right?
I mean, I suppose that's not necessarily a great choice, but
No, probably not, because the
it is
hotel's
a
losing money that
choice.
way.
Yeah, the hotel's not happy because But granted, I've seen hotels gouge the crap out of people. When there's a big event like this, and all the other hotels are like, they get notified because they all get in their little hotel huddle, and they're like, "Hey, there's an event going on. Everybody raise your prices by like 190%."
Yeah, all the hotels in the local area. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen that happen.
That happened. That was even happening with Denver. Like the Crown
Mhm.
Plaza and stuff for their remaining rooms. Their remaining rooms just skyrocketed, and it's like a great place because it's near the airport and everything else. Not near quote unquote, but like their rates went up something like 300% when Denver was going on.
Wow. Well, that's kind of like with flights too. Like, it's more like, I guess, capitalism, right? Like, if a hotel knows that several thousand people are going to be attending for this weekend, of course they're going to want to, squeeze out as much money as possible.
Oh yeah, I mean MFF is
pricing.
notorious for it. Yeah, they get it under that seasonal pricing clause where it's like, oh hey, our prices are different because there's something going on.
Yeah. Anyway, but being financially stingy does prompt them to to try their luck sleeping on the hotel lounge and stuff.
Which
or even heck.
is a no.
And you know what? It makes me wonder too. Furries with all of their disposable income and shit like that, why don't they have friggin' camper vans? If they want
Well,
to
yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I've seen that at Apocalypse. There were a few people during the car show that had not camper vans per se, but like modified cars and stuff that they lived in, legit.
Yeah, well, actually, in some hotel parking lots, and even if it's like an open, like a convention center kind of parking lot, RVs are considered illegal, and they can be towed.
Whoa,
so you
really?
Bring like an actual camper into like something like that because you can have your vehicle essentially repossessed by a towing company and get towed away because you are breaking laws because they're only allowed on campgrounds, kind of thing.
I see. See, when I was at Apocalypse, we had a thing called the Cool Bus, which is basically a modified, entirely large, yellow school bus that was in the parking garage, like across the street. And yeah, people like lived in there.
Yeah,
they didn't have to buy a room. None of that.
And there's certain areas that you can get away with stuff like that, but there's other areas where, like, as soon as like an officer sees that, nope, tow truck's call, you're getting it impounded.
Damn.
I know Denver's one of them. Like the Crown Plaza, there's signs: no overnight vehicles or camping recreational vehicles, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but I just think it's really hilarious that MCFC is all about the future of the cons and they're looking to the future, and this is the precedent that they set.
Fire.
This
like,
is the
good
future
lord, this is the
what
future that
can we look forward to, huh? So
this is
yeah,
the
really.
future of fur cons, everybody. So you know, they're setting
Holy
the precedent
crap.
for the future of fur cons. We're all hosed.
Well, this is why people say as we went back earlier, we're in decline. Furry is in decline.
Well, it's also becoming hyper mainstream too, like by force.
So basically, they're gonna become like the old Roman Empire.
Does Motor City FurCon have a
collapse?
Does Motor City FurCon have like a mask mandate or vaccine passports or anything like that?
I'm sure they did. I think it's Detroit.
Right.
So.
And this was why I wasn't interested in going to my to the premier FurCon down here in Aussie land, was because while practically almost all of the country has lifted the vaccine requirements in public venues, except for public transport, the con is keeping them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Like almost all the fur cons in the U.S. are doing that too. They're keeping,
So
you have to
basically,
be vaccinated. You have to wear a mask everywhere. Which I mean, I understand the mask everywhere. You're getting people from literally all over the country coming, but the vaccine mandate, no.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
But
it's messed up.
anyway, so if there is one thing to look forward to, I guess it's babies taking the baby thing way too far. Is basically what the future of cons it has in store for us.
That's nothing new to my knowledge. So
Yeah, but I guess they also seem to not really care about that. And you're right, Joel.
No,
They were
no,
like
no, no. Like,
coddling them.
there's a difference between not caring and staying in character.
Okay, yeah, true. There
fair,
is.
fair.
But
Like,
yeah,
please dispose of them properly. We'll give you extra bags, and we know accidents happen. Like, bitch, please. This is like, oh
This
God,
is
I
someone who
can't even.
is either intellectually coddled to the point that they think that this behavior is okay, or
Mhm.
this is my opinion, that they find this stuff funny or something similar to that,
100%, 100%
and
a
they
bit of
don't care
both.
about the consequences, even if that means an entire convention just goes away.
I would be very, well, unsurprised if the hotel that hosted MCFC didn't want the furries back after all the literal shit that they caused.
Oh, I think the hotel and the con have a pretty long-standing relationship. I'm not sure. This might be another convention I'm thinking of. They have a pretty long-standing relationship, so it's kind of one of those things. Hey, your people messed up, and they're like, "Hey, sorry, we're gonna do everything we can to keep those people out. Just let us kind of know who was in these rooms, so we can basically ban them from next year."
Well, they're gonna have to look at the damage bill though. But
Well, yeah,
if they
but
can't, yeah,
that's also charged to the person as well.
And that poor staff member. Can you imagine, like, just going in, changing the
Nope.
sheets, and there's just like, yeah, I don't want to get into it. I know. Just oh my, you open the bathroom door, and you're like, what happened here?
I'd be one of those. Nope. Here's my badge.
Yeah, here's my 2 weeks. I'm out.
uniform. Good. No. It's like, well, I don't know. Michigan might be an at-will state, so you might be able to be like, no.
Be like, yeah, I need a raise if I'm gonna be cleaning up after the furries. If not, I'm out.
They have
Most
to bring in
people don't-
specially trained staff.
Most
Ugh.
people are probably going to forget that if they have to bring in either specialty staff or, people start quitting, it's going to get to the point where a hotel is going to say, yeah, we're not going to have you around anymore after this. So by all means, I'm going to use the word here, degenerate slackers that are pulling this sort of shit,
Yep.
understand that you might not be able to do this again simply because the con just can't find anywhere else to open up.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean.
Dumbass.
Well, that's what happened with Rainforest too. Like they were totally done.
Yeah, they utterly trashed the hotel there.
Completely. Yeah, they flooded it. Yeah, it was nuts.
And,
But there's also the diaper stuff going on in cars. But this one is more about the whole ABDL thing.
hey,
And
more alphabet soup.
well, the adult baby. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm saying
Yeah,
this.
about debut, die. Yeah. Anyway, but that's pretty much that is that though. We just can't
Future
wait
of
to
cons,
see
guys.
how-
Future
Yeah,
cons
future of
right
cons.
here. Frickin' baby first getting coddled.
Well,
it's not. Yeah.
it's a matter of what's next. What's at that point. Yeah. So
Well,
next item. Twitter.
Bum bum bum.
So yes, you may have heard that Elon Musk has recently purchased a 9.2% stake in Twitter, and that's made him quite, have some modicum of influence over what's going to happen next to it.
it actually had quite a bit. He invested over $150 million to buy this stake in Twitter.
Yeah,
And
what I
the stock price went up from $39 to $50 in the last couple of weeks.
he only has less than 10% of the company.
Yeah,
But he's
9.7%.
10.
But
No, I
he's
know.
a majority shareholder now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. If he had something like 25 or 30%, I'd be raising an eyebrow. If
Well,
he
the
had
thing-
51%, I'd be like, oh shit, this
Yeah,
is something
he's-
serious. Less than 10% is fucking nothing.
Well, you have to
I don't-
realize
I
no
don't
one
know.
else holds as much as he does. He holds the most amount of shares consolidatedly.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to listen to him.
Yeah,
But he already did have some complaints about things he wanted to change. I mean,
basically
that's a
got put
huge
on, like,
investment too.
like a board of directors essentially. He
Yeah.
basically like shoehorned his way into the board of directors seat, and it's like, hey, I'm here now.
One of the things that Elon Musk wanted to talk about was getting, well, or he suggested was the edit button. Like, let's say if you're making a statement and you say like, "Oh, it happened in New York." "Oh, actually, I meant New Jersey." Then like you can go back and edit your tweets and stuff, and people can see that. I also
My
want to bring back the dislike button. I mean, that'd be good.
my argument with the edit button is that people should still be allowed to see the original post.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Like see original. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think something like that. You should be able to see when it was edited.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a little timestamp on it. But I
Well,
think he
with
was
the
also
forum-
talking about other. Sorry.
With forums, you have the option not to actually see what it previously said, but you can see when it was edited. So adding both of those functions wouldn't be difficult.
No, it'd be
I mean,
optimal, honestly.
Well, with
Mhm.
eBay, for instance, you can, if you made a purchase of something, you can see the original listing that you purchased and not the current one. This functionality is completely possible, not that difficult to implement, but Twitter is on the thing of, oh, we can't have this. It's like, yeah, your biggest mistake ever, and it's like you can only delete it, which makes it look even worse.
Yeah, totally.
If someone screen capped it beforehand, yeah, it's just like, hey, why'd you delete this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see that a lot. I don't know. You think that's a good thing that Elon Musk is involved in Twitter now?
I have a mixed opinion on this. Like, you may think it is like if you have one set of lenses, but it depends if you have another set of lenses. I would say I wouldn't get your hopes too high up on Elon because he
Yeah,
only has so much power.
You have to realize this is probably for something bigger. Like my says that he's doing this to like learn what makes Twitter good, what makes them bad, kind of thing.
Either that, or
Maybe.
I think we all realize now that this world
Also
is
money.
basically run by is a clown show that's run by some uber rich cunts who may who have all
Look,
these not enough all this money, not enough brains.
I've been around African Americans like that before, and something rubs me the wrong way, specifically. For instance, I had one as a boss, and he decided, in his infinite wisdom, it would be a great idea to work on a three-phase power switch without having being a licensed electrician in the country, which raises a few eyebrows. So when I see stuff like that, some of the poor maintenance done on the equipment at work. So when I see the things that Elon Musk has been doing with his company, it's like, this is a bit concerning.
He's made some very silly investments, like in the Hyperloop and stupid crap like that.
But even now with Twitter, to get back onto this point, you may think it's a good thing because it actually exposes the company of Twitter for exactly what it is. Like, a pseudo-religious cult of a dumpster fire, where everybody, like the employees there, reacted in a catastrophic meltdown.
Please
Oh, yeah.
show.
Yeah, that was great getting to watch that.
Have a look at some of these. Grimlock Cassie. I'm honestly kind of terrified. RN. Prominent transfer. Buying a large stake in Twitter is not at all funny.
Oh, a prominent transphobe? Get the hell out of here. He's not
And,
come on.
And in the bio, the things that struck out, lady. Well, not lady. That's whatever. Cat lady. Feminist. genderqueer, trans woman, blah blah blah, flags,
Yeah.
pronouns.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
yeah.
if people like this completely forget about their behavioral issues where when something they don't like occurs, violence is acceptable. So why don't they just wait till they get him into a room and then just throw him out of the building? I mean, that will prior to like beating the living snot out of him, which is what individuals like this seems to think is acceptable. I mean, it's your ball game. Play it.
Yeah. So this is another one from Gerard. He says, "My current sentiment: stock is up, yay! But what about our company culture?" Well, yeah,
Yes,
like I said, it did go up about 30% since Elon Musk invested.
Yeah.
Didn't Elon make it clear that he believes in freedom of speech?
Yes.
So it's not
yeah,
like
that's why the
if-
lefties hate him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that going to
That's-
cause? Doesn't that still give them the right to basically have their say,
Mm-hmm.
allowing
Yeah.
everyone else to have their say, and not have to worry about getting shit canned?
Yeah, but now
Whereas-
getting banned is like, they don't like the fact that people have greater freedom of speech, or at least that's in their opinion, from what it seems like. They're like, I
Well,
can't believe this. Oh no.
you'd think
It's
some of
like,
the crews
oh,
who work
a
at
free
Intel would be
market
smarter.
is. It's almost like a free market is working in the way it's intended.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Another one. Jerry says, "Looks like I picked a good week to be off. No regrets." Okay, basic English aside. Okay,
Regrets.
recruiting manager at Twitter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Pronouns.
Oh boy.
Ooh, a racist.
Mm-hmm. Terrorist.
Well, there's that. Elon, what's that? Elon Musk temporarily. Can you scroll up?
Elon Musk just temporarily. Here's the one from Hallie. Elon Musk just temporarily, at least, made me a lot of money, and I still dislike him.
Hey, exactly. Yeah, he did. Yo, $39 a share, and now it's up to 50. Yeah, so if you had like, let's say 10 shares or whatever, like 390, boom, you made like
He did-
500. So
He did
okay,
this- Elon Musk did this with Bitcoin. Let's
he?
not forget that.
And
Yeah,
Dogecoin.
he did.
oh,
He
that's
turned
sweet.
around. He turned around and said that, look, I'm going to turn around and allow people to buy Tesla vehicles with Bitcoin. Zhunk.
Yeah, that was like a $10,000 jump in a day kind of thing.
Damn,
Actually,
that's
it was probably like
crazy.
in an hour. Like it was a straight vertical line.
And then when he cancelled it, they're like, zhunk. It shrank quicker. It shrank.
Yeah, well,
I
hopefully
wanted
you
to make
sold
a
your
picture
stuff
of that.
before.
Yeah, it basically fucked Bitcoin for a while. It was fantastic.
Bitcoin's so volatile. Like, you never really know.
Cryptocurrency in general is pretty volatile, but
Yeah, you're right. Doge.
Yeah.
Like, look what happened to that. Jesus.
Yeah, well, Doge only had a one-time thing because Elon basically pumped it.
It's always Elon. It's always him. He's always messing around with the economy.
I
Like,
have
damn.
to wonder. I have to wonder how many turkey bases he goes through.
I don't know.
One way or another, yeah. You can buy a lot of stuff, but you can't buy brains. Oh well.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Now, the second part of this story, of this, is why, if you look at it from a different set of lens, yes, it's good that these certain Twitter people are having meltdown, but why this the part where you probably shouldn't get your hopes too high up on Elon is that, now, believe whatever you want in politics and with, and certain figureheads, but
Mhm.
Twitter said it, and this announcement, in this announcement, I should say, Twitter says it has no plans to reinstate former President Donald Trump's account, despite Elon Musk vowing to make significant improvements to the social media platform after becoming the company's largest shareholder and a member of its board of directors.
Interesting.
Twitter is committed to impartiality in the development and enforcement of its policies and rules, and it's just
What a joke.
Come on, John,
Right?
read what's actually written there. Not, oh, wait,
Yeah.
you were doing that.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Twitter is committed to impartiality. That's fucking
Bullshit. No, it isn't. Get real.
Yeah, our policy decisions are not determined by the board or shareholders, and we have no plans to reverse any policy decisions. As always, our board plays an important advisory and feedback role across the entirety of our service. Our day-to-day operations and decisions are made by Twitter management and employees.
Wow. That's
Well,
bonkers.
there's your
I can't
problem.
believe they actually said that with a straight face. That's insane.
That's
No,
because they live in their own little bubble.
Now,
They
if
banned a world leader. What?
A
And a whole lot
sitting
of
Former
president at
world
that.
leader.
Yeah, the world
yes.
leader actually. Like holy
the
bonkers, man.
legitimate world leader. And so, if people had a cursory understanding about, I guess, about how wicked people work, you would know that Twitter is basically just gonna take this all the way down with them, like to let the ship sink with them, and Elon practically has his hands tied
At the
up.
time, Twitter was worried about complete anarchy basically raining down purely because of what Trump had been posting on his Twitter account. That's why they removed him without realizing that by doing so, they just fucked themselves over. And now, guess who decides to buy their stock?
Yeah. I did hear one thing that Twitter said they were going to reinstate Trump back in like 2022. But that didn't happen.
And again, even so, despite what Elon has done, I would still maintain a point of advice that you should very much avoid using Twitter. I think the only way to burn, my prediction is that I think Elon can only do so much, and basically, it's better to get off a sinking ship and to let it burn and have it rebuilt from the ground up,
Look,
rather than
he
try
bought,
to hack everything, hack all the weeds away.
he bought like less than 10% of the stock. I don't care if he's the majority shareholder. That is less than 10%. If he had something like 25, maybe 30%, or some significant number, then that would be raising an eyebrow for me. But this is less than 10% stock. This is why are you freaking the hell out, everybody? I mean, blah.
Well, because they see the word majority shareholder and they think that's the end of the world, mainly. Because, well, hey, he's now forced himself into essentially a board of 10 people, assuming each person has roughly 10%. So he kicks. Hey, I now own 10%. I'm joining your 10-person table, and I'm kicking the last person who has the smallest share amount out.
Well, I feel like we are going to see some changes. Probably.
Are they going to be major changes, or are they?
I don't know.
Probably.
I think we're probably going to see less. I think we're probably going to see less of shadow banning people, like where Elon would like step in, and maybe hopefully they fix their algorithm. Like their spam bots or whatever.
What would be really funny to see is if if Elon is successful in convincing Twitter to go back to basically being a free speech platform, and you get a shit ton of the people who are a lot of the shit kickers there basically going out in protest and quitting their jobs, you have to wonder the kind of people who are then going to get hired.
Oh, we've seen that before. Actually, just the other day, one of the staff, not the board of directors, but like one of the staff members who is responsible for like their TOS. I think his name was like Mohammed something. He's like, ever since this, I've decided to quit Twitter because I want to, promote rules that stop bigotry and hatred and all that. And I'm like, oh, you left? Good. Because he's one of the idiots who's going to be like looking over a tweet and determining whether or not you should be banned or not. So yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Good. Leave.
Yeah, the only reason why the only reason a tweet should be banned or at least action taken is if it's directing someone to do something.
And there would be
Yeah,
a
like
lot
causing
of people
violence
sarcasm,
and
banned.
like
stuff. Yeah.
the
There'd be a lot
sarcasm,
of
like I
governors
used,
banned, a lot of senators banned.
a
Yeah,
lot of the
that's crazy
sarcasm
to
I've
me.
used before in this particular podcast would be sort of stretching that line.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually directly go out and say, go grab a gun, get some bullets, and go put a bullet into said person's head just because, that is
Yeah.
something that needs to be seriously looked at because you're instructing people to do something.
Well,
Your
yeah. I
opinion
mean,
to say that so and so should be shot because, different story.
I don't know, man. But Twitter also, in their infinite wisdom, when they said we're not biased, bullshit. Yes, they are, because we see leftoids all the time talking about the genocide of Trump supporters. Like every day, you see this all the time. Oh, the cis
They
white
basically
males
have
killed them.
and they have the finger, head in the sand.
Yeah,
Out of
we see it all the time. It's nuts. Like, and that's not a violent tweet calling to arms. Oh, down with the cis white males and all this stupid crap. Yeah, we see
If
people
you're
attack like that all
transgender
the
on that,
time.
if you're transgender on that platform and a complete fucking lunatic with this idea that killing everyone who doesn't agree with you is a great idea, that you're for some reason allowed to.
Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
talking.
Yeah, why? Why is that? That should not be acceptable for anybody, if you're trans or not. If you're literally calling for like people to go die, it's kind of fucked.
yeah.
That is a biased approach to your platform, and from what I understand, that's what Elon Musk wants to do. But I'm still concerned that he may try to do things that would be a bit problematic, considering the kind of shit that goes on in his company. I mean, fuck.
We'll see what
The
happens.
best way of this is to have some if you still hold on to hope, be cautiously optimistic. If you don't hold on to hope on Twitter, well, just let it burn. Let it burn and have everything set up new completely. Or go into another alternative platform. Build your own.
Well, get some sanity and get off the fucking internet for once.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Go outside,
But
touch some grass.
I guess that's exactly. And that's really good advice too, practical. And so that is that. The next segment we have is the cancellation of famous Expo E3 is cancelled this year.
Now, this is a bit difficult for me to understand why they would cancel E3 in 2022
Right.
when things are opening up more.
And so, I understand the way things are going. Like E3 in 2020 was cancelled because of COVID. Okay, understandable.
Mhm.
E3 in 2021 it seemed to be a virtual only thing. And and even then, now.
Yeah, I remember
now
we
it's opening
discussed
up,
this about how E3 was going like totally virtual last year. Maybe the reason they're canceling all platforms now is because last year it was not either profitable or it was just too much logistics wise to handle. And they're like, you know what? We can't do it now.
That or there's not enough gaming advancement to really put
Or
on the show to show.
even then,
That's
hey, look
yeah,
at all
that's
the
probably
games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it used to be. It's weird. I still remember our guys in the podcast used to spend an episode entirely dedicated to E3.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that was basically a testament to how much heads would turn just when E3 was announced. But now it's as if things have changed, and E3 is basically going to become like a relic of things, including even the expo scene.
Yeah, even
And
like
so yeah,
their online thing is canceled. That's crazy. Oh, it says return summer of 2022. Nope, apparently not.
20. Yeah,
But
maybe
there was
20.
a line earlier in the article. If you scroll up a little bit, it says that's the bad news, that it was canceled for this year. The good news is, as of today, the ESA is planning to bring back E3 in 2023. The organization told Tech Radar E3 will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase that celebrities and new exciting video games and industry innovations. Do you guys believe that?
It'll probably be online only.
It's right, probably online, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Right. And so this one here, we've got, and so the industry scene, the expo scene for the video game industry has changed considerably. So now we've got things like the Summer Game Fest. That's that's taking its place at roughly about the same time, because E3 usually happens in June, which is in the summer months of the hemisphere. And so now the big gaming firms like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are planning to do. They're basically going to host a direct, like digital only. The Nintendo Directs. That that Nintendo Switch owners really look forward to.
Yeah, I own two and I don't.
Yeah, they host that. Sony basically withdrew from E3 and hosted this, the State of Play. And so I think now even the other companies are seeing that it might be cheaper and easier to do self-hosting.
Yeah, that's probably what these companies are going to end up doing.
See, that's my concern about the whole downfall of E3. They may decide, places like Sony, Microsoft, Apple, they may be deciding, and like other game companies, they may decide to just simply completely avoid E3 because why when we can host our own event?
I wonder if there's like
we can make even bigger and grander than the little booth that we got, or the the section that we got at E3. So why not throw an entire gathering for their specific platform?
Exactly. So I wonder, like, if let's say Sony or Nintendo, they probably have to pay something to be a part of E3, right?
Yeah, and not to mention they want to have to set up logistics.
Yeah, and it's not worth it for, let's say, Sony to be like, oh, well, we have a spot at E3, but we have to spend like $4,000. Maybe we won't do that.
And that's one thing too. And even also like the devs, maybe they don't want to get on board. Like the devs might decide to piggyback off of Microsoft, the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, when they're showcasing games. Like things like Square Enix and so forth.
Yeah, they could also just drop a YouTube video about the newest stuff they are developing, and people are going to flock to that too. Like, they don't have to do it through E3.
And so, which brings us to a couple of interesting things in light of recent developments too. Like even so, we have gaming cons now that are outside of the big three, but now I imagine things like BlizzCon are going to be very, very interesting if it goes, because remember, Microsoft bought them.
Yep.
And maybe we might see another plug of them going to get World of Warcraft on Xbox Game Pass, among other things. Or whatever. Who knows? I certainly don't know. I haven't kept tabs on any of that, but it really is one of those things too. Like maybe E3 should be a thing of the past if the game, if even.
Well, here's the thing about this though. Ever since 2020, like, they've been not having physical events for about 3 years now.
That is
right.
True.
2020, 2021, now 22, and possibly 2023. They might be coming back, but is it going to be in like a physical capacity? Probably not.
If they've spent money the last 2 years, getting all these areas ready and advertising and everything else, they're probably not doing so hot in the financial department, would be my guess.
No, definitely not.
I imagine the last few years it's been problematic for them to be able to operate.
Oh, it was basically impossible. Yeah, of course. You can't, because the article mentioned 66,000 attendees came to the last in-person event. I mean, you couldn't do that the last couple of years. So
And now, developers are, even the game developers, not so much as Sony's and so forth, are, questioning the decision to attend, to have a slot on the expo as well. And
right,
yeah, and there's also an element of COVID's changed the expo scene forever.
it did. Yeah, it totally impacted the gaming industry.
No, the expo scene as well, like
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, attendance and stuff like that's changed well until people understand that, what all happened was probably a show, but to some degree. But I feel that things are going to take a long time to get back to the point where they were.
right.
We're talking maybe in 10 years, it might be back to a semblance
yeah,
of pre-COVID times.
and now, and you know what people are going to miss as well, like the developer wars. Like, everybody knows that when E3 happens, they always ask the question, who won E3 this year?
Well, yeah, because I mean,
Yep.
each developer is pushing their technology to the limit to show off at E3, even if that's, a tech demo and it's not anywhere near ready, but they're showing it off like, hey, look what our game can do, kind of thing. But essentially, anymore, E3 is 3 companies, all just showing off their stuff. It's no longer kind of, hey, this is happening from this studio, this is happening from this studio, this happening is this studio. It's EA, Nintendo, Ubisoft. And then, honestly, I stopped watching E3 in like 2018 because it just got boring because there wasn't anything really exciting happening. Just being like,
even
our
then,
stuff's
some
Well, I
better.
was pretty hyped about Spyro Reignited. Like when I saw that trailer, like bro,
Yeah, there's specific things
Yeah.
like in between, but I mean, for the most part, it's 3 companies being like, hey, our stuff's better, and that's their entire like 3 hours or 3 days thing.
yeah,
Hey, this game, we're doing this better than that other company. Well, ours has this and this technology, and it's just like, you're showing essentially a slightly tweaked game in a different universe than your last game from E3 the last year.
Oh,
yeah, like sequels when it
I
comes to that. Yeah,
I think Sony might be wanting to avoid, any publications of their latest console. I've been seeing things crop up online about how PS5s are failing, and I have to wonder if it's true or not.
I actually saw one of those too. Like they say cheap parts plus, So so basically
It's
this
the
is
console
Sony's
game,
version
though.
of like the old Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death, the Ring of Death.
That's always the console game. How cheap can you make something and make it still work?
I think, like with hardware though, it's a balance of compromises and everything else. But
well, I guess you can
Yeah.
ask China about that too.
Yeah, I mean, everything goes through China. Let's be honest.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, like the market for
Well,
silicon
Sony
and
might come from
processors
Korea
has
but
been is in dire straits.
Mm.
Yeah, and even then, if they don't have enough, to throughput for consoles and stuff, then yeah, it's a whole other story.
Yeah, if people became a little bit more respectable when it came to purchasing shit. I mean, I remember back with 2020 when things really started to go downhill, I kept seeing these emails and messages about how, because of the current problem we're turning around, it's going to take a lot longer. It's like, I don't care. Give me the fucking tracking number. Let me know that it's on its way. Let me check it. I don't care if it takes 2 months, 3 months to get to me. Just as long as I can see it coming. And then once it's actually come here, I'm able to pick it up. I'm able to,
And
unwrap
it's
it,
so
explore
weird.
it properly. But sorry.
Yeah, like the hardware shortages in different sectors is so weird. Like on one hand, people are waiting 6 months for a brand new car, while they can get a brand new phone in just by rocking up.
Yeah, well, gaming console companies should have turned around and said, okay, this is a situation we're in. Not everyone who wants to buy the latest console is going to get it. So instead of turning around and trying to ram it down their throats, let's extend support for the second last generation, the last generation, and the current generation. Let's just, slowly move forward with that. So any games released on, say, the PS5 should also be released on the PS4 if developers are capable of, shooting out a copy that's going to be compatible with it.
Okay, that's actually a very good proposition because like the PS5 is more or less, I guess, like 50% like unattainable for most people. Like it's impossible to find a PS5. Even now, I went to Best Buy and I asked about it, and they said no. We got like 30 on back order. But they had the PS4, and they still sell PS4 games like next to the PS5 ones. So if a PS5 game were to come out, backwards compatibility with the PS4, is there really that big of a difference between the PS5 and 4?
Right. I
Like,
get
is
what you
there?
mean. Like the
Right?
value proposition for it seems to be not,
It's no, it's
not there.
yeah, it's just not. Like, I would rather buy a PS4 than a PS5 because like the difference is menial.
Well, yeah, the console wars have essentially stalemated it, like the 360
Yeah.
era, like PS3 and the 360 and the Wii. The Wii was the exception, but
Mhm.
like console games have stalemated it since then. Except for in PS5 era, you have the option to play at 60 FPS, but all console games are essentially at 30 FPS, and they're forever locked there. And that's just because of the limitations of the components.
Right.
Most people forget that most individuals who play console games don't particularly care about a lot of the ins and outs. All they care about is they pick up their controller, they start their game, and they can have fun. That's
That
it.
is 100%.
That's all they
Yeah.
care about. They don't really care
Mm.
much more about.
Now, I can go further on the shitstorm route, where Microsoft have literally shown that they've fucked themselves three ways by Sunday with Windows 11, restricting it to only computers released in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, that was lame.
This is where
That was
console
so lame,
companies,
dude.
if they go down this sort of path by cutting off, Sony, for instance, really should have picked up with the PS3 instead of just slowly dying it out. They should have really picked it up, because for some people, that's all they've got.
Yeah, but there's also the really bad thing that's happened. It started in the 60s, which was planned obsolescence. So,
Yep.
Oh, that occurred before the 60s.
well, that's when
The
it
light
really
bulb
that's really when it
conspiracy.
kicked off. Because people were like, "Hey, if I sell them one washing machine and it lasts 50 years, I'm going to go out of business. So
Yeah.
let's start making components undersized and stuff wear out quicker, and
Mm-hmm.
not grease these fittings so that they'll fail after a certain amount of hours, or so
Yeah,
they can keep putting
Yo,
parts and
Noble, you're
stuff.
totally right about the planned obsolescence when it comes to light bulbs. How they had like certain amount of hours it's supposed to last, and then over the years, it was like less and less hours. Like every 10 years or so, they make it like a few hours less. They do
Well,
that with like
was
smartphones
actually,
and crap
like
too.
a legitimate thing. That's like actually a legitimate thing that you can look back
Oh, it
on,
is.
because they basically had a meeting and they're like, okay, we're doing too good of a job. Our light bulbs are lasting like 10,000 hours in 1929. We can't do this. We can't keep making them last longer. So let's start using weaker components. And if we all agree to keep going with weaker components so that stuff fails sooner, we'll all
They have to
make
buy
more
more.
money.
Yeah, of
If
course.
They're all
people
like,
and-
okay. So everyone started lowering their quality, and basically each other was telling each other, and they were tattling basically back and forth on all the companies, so that everyone's light bulbs came down to basically the same rate, so that they were all the same, so that everyone's light bulbs were garbage. So there you go. Planned obsolescence
Yeah,
in its finest.
there's a lot more to it, but look, here's how it goes. If people were more focused on purchasing good quality components and companies were willing to actually support that, just because one person owns a washing machine for 50 fucking years, that person can turn around, start a family, have kids, and then when their kids get older, they go, oh, my parents had this washing machine. I'm going to go buy the same one of a current model. So while your profits will be drawn out longer, if you can show that we can produce good parts, people will go buy it. Unfortunately, people are fucking morons and they go buy the shiniest thing they can.
Yeah, but that's part of, hey, this one has more features. Hey, next year or 2 years. Hey, this one has more features 2 years later. Hey, this one has more features. It's not we're going to develop the best thing we can. It's we're going to develop something that's adequate. But like I
What
actually
pisses
have
me off.
I actually got really mad at Logitech. Like I got on the phone and I sent
Yeah.
emails and stuff with their customer support because I bought the Ergo Max, a $90 to $100 mouse. That's a trackball mouse. It's a niche market. I really like it. It has
Old
the
tech,
same
like
problem.
friggin' boomer tech.
Well, no, I just enjoy it because it's more comfortable, and I don't have
Okay.
to lift my mouse to play games. I can just literally move my mouse, and I can go. My cursor goes across the screen, but it has the same switches that the MX560 that I have like 6 of that are dead because they use a tiny little flimsy piece of metal to make the contact for your clicks on your mouse buttons. And that flimsy piece of metal, after 5,000 clicks or so, bends so that it no longer functions correctly.
Oh no, that's not cool. You're spending $90 on that.
And I
5,000
yeah.
clicks is not a lot of clicks, honestly.
No, it was less than like 2 years, and my mouse was literally doing the double click thing that all Logitech trackball mouses are known for doing.
Yeah.
Like
Oof.
you search in
Yeah,
Logitech
that's-
trackball, and you'll probably get double click problem, and it's like, yeah, it's a known problem. It's a known thing. I would pay $5 more if you gave me a good switch in the mouse, because it's a cheap
Mhm.
quarter of a penny micro switch that's made in China. I can go and buy like 1,000 of them for $20.
Damn.
But I don't want to have to take my mouse apart, desolder the connections, resolder the connections back on, and have a new one that will quality mouse.
Hmm.
And I literally
Alright.
it was funny. Logitech's like, sorry, can't help you, you're hosed.
Oh goodness.
Just buy
So,
another one. And I was like, bruh.
I
We got a
used to
live
have a
comment
Razer.
here from Chuck. Chuck says, I have a fridge that's been running longer than I've been alive. Still works just fine. See, when boomers say they don't make things like they used to,
They're not
they really
joking.
don't. They're not joking. Yeah, they don't. Crazy.
We got rid of a fridge we've had since the 80s for a newer fridge that was supposed to be,
Whoa.
because it was like, oh well, it's bigger, and I was actually trying to convince them to go to an even larger model, but they was like, no, this one's big enough, we won't ever fill it. And like less than 6 months later, it was full of crap. And it's like, you said you wouldn't fill it. When you pack crap in a fridge to the brim, it's going to wear it out, which is already going to be worn out because they undersize the components.
Yeah.
So,
So,
the compressor has to work harder and everything else. But that's planned obsolescence in a nutshell.
I had a Razer keyboard before, and that thing sucked. It used to like literally kill USB on my computer. I got this Cooler Master keyboard. It weighs a ton. It's noisy as all fuck, and when I got it, it wasn't working. All I had to do was pull it apart and clean the bastard. Now, someone spilt soft drink in there, hence the reason why it wasn't working. But since then, the keyboard itself, there has been no problem with it. It's not the type of keyboard that I want, but if I go find the similar type but full size, I'm going to buy it if I can get it with the right keycaps. Because one, you can maintain the bastard, especially if it gets dirty. And two, this thing survived for several months with soft drink sprayed all in the insides of it. And it was like, after clean, it was like, oh, I'm fine.
Wow. Okay,
Razer,
cool.
Okay.
Razer kept killing my fucking USB. I'd plug a thumb drive in, and all of a sudden USB on my computer would just go nuts. So my mouse, my keyboard, any hard drives, thumb drives, anything I had connected up to there just switched off. And I found out Razer, it had a 500 milliamp draw on USB 2, which is how much power USB 2 can distribute. So my keyboard was literally just going, fuck this, and causing just, ah. was insane.
They don't
Goodness.
put
Great,
warnings
yeah.
on the box for a reason.
Well,
All right.
USB. Yeah, we should. Yeah, sorry.
We got really sidetracked.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we went off. Yeah, we went out the track to go and have a, to go all back in my day.
We didn't go down the rabbit hole. We're off in the pasture somewhere.
We went off in the hole. We didn't make them like they used to route. Oh well.
Get off
I
my
guess
lawn, you dumb kids!
my old tech is better than your shiny new toy. Oh well. But I guess that's the end of this week. What did you guys think?
Not
Let's
as much train wreck news as I thought, but I have to say it was enjoyable watching lefties have an absolute meltdown when Musk became a 10% shareholder.
Yeah, right. They totally did.
Mm-hmm. Double?
It'll be nice to see the fallout of Musk, but who knows? As for
Yeah.
some of the other shit, oh please.
Now, see, I think it was actually
I just
right.
was
Like this,
saying.
I didn't see it at first, but it was right. Like this really is the window to the future, and you set the mood for it perfectly. I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it until we hit the E3 segment. Like everything
E3,
else,
I would actually be happy to see that thing basically go under and something else take over,
Exactly.
like E4.
I think let's just say some things
E3
are better left
is
in the past, like E3.
way
I'm with
overdue
ya.
for its death.
And so yeah, like I know the con thing is one thing that was for sure a window to the future. The Twitter thing, yeah, I just was probably a bit too dense. Oh well, no, but it was great. And Evira.
Well, I, like many, are thinking about like the future of the fandom and all that, and obviously the literal crap that went down at MCFC, holy bonkers, man. That's not the future. That's not. There is at least, I don't want to say like the future looks bleak, because that would be like a pessimistic attitude. I'm actually pretty positive about some new things happening. I mean, guys, check out Free for All. It's like one of the few good cons out there, and I think that's going to be the trajectory of the fandom. Not destroying hotels or doing crap like that. That's nasty. No,
It's the
just check it
trajectory
out.
the fandom needs to take to get back into back to its roots.
Yeah, exactly.
And as for everything else, well, that remains to be seen. Only the people who really have wisdom can really change things back to the way that it should be, to the right path.
Move
Yeah.
things forward in the correct
Aye.
direction.
And I hope
And-
that Elon and his money can change Twitter. Hopefully, maybe, probably not, but let's see.
All right. And as always, hopefully you enjoyed this in the making, and as we did in the making of this, our episodes are, as always, available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, BitChute, and more further down the line. This is us signing off for the week. Farewell. Until next time.
Stay tuned for the next Rambles.
Bye-bye.